Yes and no. Yes, in a targeted move up. I know there was a couple reports saying they might go way up to 5 and 6 or whatever it was, but I don't see that. I think it's we talked about it last year a lot because it's so recent when Devontae Smith moving up from 12 to 10, but they did it with Andre Dillard in 2019. They did it really with Fletcher Cox and whatever that was, 2012ish or something around that range. So, um, when they like a player, they'll go up to get them.
It's the biggest, most important draft in the history of this Philadelphia football franchise. The JAKIB Media Sports 2022 NFL Draft Special. Live on 6abc.com from the Ocean Casino and Resort in Atlantic City. Presented by First Trust Bank, the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. IBEW Local 98, Stateside Vodka, United Healthcare, Mesa Law, 6ABC, and Budweiser, the official beer of the Philly sports fan.
We are no longer counting down the days. We are now counting down the hours to the NFL draft. It has gotten that close. Appreciate you jumping aboard with the Mac and Mac Birds 365 guys. John McMullen, Jody McDonald. Yeah, we've been waiting for this for a while, and we've still got a little bit more to wait, but it's much less than it has been. Johnny Mac, the draft is almost upon us. You'll be at the NovaCare Complex. I'll be here broadcasting for CBS. But, man, we got a party going on down in Atlantic City with our JAKIB Media Stream family.
Yeah, how about that? The JAKIB Media Draft Special from the Ocean Casino and Resort, theoceanac.com. You see it on the screen there. You can get all the information there. Maybe sneak in on the luxury bus to get down there. JAKIB Media is taking you in luxury to the Ocean AC, and you can get involved with that, Jody, by saying Jody Mac wants me on the bus, McMullen wants me on the bus. Just email Krause at jakibmedia.com. You see it on your screen, Krause at jakibmedia.com.
Now, do you know when the emails have to be received by? I'm guessing it's sometime today because you got to.
Yeah, it's got to be. If there's got to be a cutoff point, maybe Tone can figure that out for us. But I would get it in as early as possible. So if you're on the stream right now, just email Krause right now, Krause at jakibmedia.com. Say, Jody Mac wants me on that bus. Jody Mac wants me on that bus. You might win. Mike Quick's going to be there. Seth Jr. is going to be there. Our guys, D. Gunn, Rob Ellis, Devin Caney is going to be there as well. So it's going to be a fun time down at the Ocean AC Resort. And I wish I could be there, but I have to be at the NovaCare
Understood.
Complex.
You and I both have to, unfortunately, do different work for the Eagles' upcoming draft. John, a lot of rumors yesterday flying that after the day before where the big talk was everybody's looking to trade down. It's going to get crowded because nobody wants to pick at the top of the draft and everybody's looking to trade down. And these are always great rumors, but I remind everyone every time, takes two to tango. You can declare yourself, listen, I don't love my draft spot, so I want to move down. Well, who are you moving down to? Who are you cutting a deal with? To move down, someone needs to move up. That's the way the balance works. So I love when everybody wants to trade down. Well, then not everybody's going to get what they want because everybody can't trade down. Because if everybody wants to trade down, it means not enough teams want to trade up. Well, we might have one of the teams that does want to trade up right here in Philadelphia because the rumors were flying pretty hot and heavy yesterday that is something that the Birds are investigating. We know Howie Roseman told us in his media availability last week, they get all this worked out ahead of time. Any potential first-round draft pick, they're going to talk it through before we ever get to draft day, certainly before the clock ever ticks for pick number one. So the Eagles have had these conversations. How intense have they been? How much do the Eagles like the negotiation they've already had with other teams? That we don't know. That we won't find out till tomorrow night when we actually get there. But are you buying that the Eagles are one of the strongest teams with a desire to actually move up in the first round?
Yes and no. Yes, in a targeted move up. I know there was a couple reports saying they might go way up to 5 and 6 or whatever it was, but I don't see that. I think it's we talked about it last year a lot because it's so recent when Devontae Smith moving up from 12 to 10, but they did it with Andre Dillard in 2019. They did it really with Fletcher Cox and whatever that was, 2012ish or something around that range. So, um, when they like a player, they'll go up to get them. Um, and it's generally, as I said, a more targeted fashion. So, the player I'm focused on most, everybody probably knows it by now, is Jordan Davis. I don't think he gets to the Eagles at 15. So if they're in a position where they have to go ahead of Baltimore, for instance, and Houston's been one of those teams that's willing to listen and trade out of 13. Could I see that move up? Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely see that kind of move up. As far as people talking about going up to, uh, you know, get Ahmad Gardner early in the draft or Derek Stingley early in the draft. I'm not as much buying that part of it.
I had a good call last night on WIP. Guy said, Jody, I'll lay out the trade that's going to happen for the Eagles. I said, I really like your line of logic and the pieces fitting to why both parties could be interested. I just didn't think the value that he was looking to give up the Eagles was enough. It's close as per the Jimmy Johnson value chart, but I don't think that the team the Eagles would be dealing with would pull the trigger. We are talking about moving up significantly to number 6, which is owned by the Carolina Panthers. The GM yesterday said that, there are quarterbacks that could be worthy to be taken at 6. BS flag.
Mm-hmm.
Don't buy it. Don't believe it. Don't think they're taking a quarterback at 6. Would they like to take a quarterback? Yeah, I believe so. Would they like to take a quarterback at a spot like, I don't know, middle of the first round, 15 or somewhere thereabouts? Yeah, they'll probably still have their choice of quarterback at 15. And if Carolina likes one of two, a Pickett or a Willis, I guarantee you one of the two is left at 15. And there's a very good chance no quarterback has been taken by 15. So Carolina could just jump in there and get the quarterback they want. They don't have a second round pick. They don't have a third round pick, which is a deterrent because if you do the draft chart thing, what you're going to potentially give up isn't going to quite get you there. So if the Panthers could put something else in to balance out the deal, you would say, okay, well, maybe that worked. They don't have those out. That's why they're willing to trade down, is because they've got nothing between their first round pick and a fourth round pick. But if the Eagles offered 15 plus their second round pick plus their higher third round pick, it would come up just short of the value of the number 6 overall pick. I think Carolina would turn it down. But if they didn't, if they said, all right, Howie Roseman, you got a deal, would you trade 15, 51, 83 to get the 6? Now at 6, here's how we'll do this. Tell me the players in John McMullen's mock draft, one and only mock draft on SportsIllustrated.com, that you had coming off the board in the top 5.
I had Ike Ekwonu, Aiden Hutchinson, Trayvon Walker, I believe Jermaine Johnson, and I'm trying to pull up my draft. Who did I have 5? I believe I had Evan Neal, or it might have been Charles Cross at 5. So one of the 2 tackles. So those are the players.
So 3 DTs and 2 OTs.
3 edge rushers, 2
edge. I said DT. Yeah. My bad. Thank you for correcting me. So in other words, if the Eagles got the 6, they would have their choice of one of the edge guys. Who you had Thibodeau falling down?
Yeah. I had Thibodeau falling. And that would be, if the Eagles are going to go up that high, I would think they would want Thibodeau more than Gardner or Stingley.
Ahead of the 2 corners.
Yeah. If they're going up that high. I don't think they're going up that high. Plus, we can talk about the Carolina. Carolina is interesting, the Carolina part of it, because of this reason, Jody. And this is the reason I didn't have them taking a quarterback. Matt Rule doesn't want a young quarterback. Now, I don't know how much power he has left, but he's coaching for his job. The last thing he wants is to roll out a rookie quarterback. If he has any heft in that organization left, and I don't know if he does, I mean, he might not have any. And Scott Fitterer might say, screw it, I'm taking a quarterback. You're going to be out of here next year anyway. But if he has any power left in that organization, he's going to want a Baker Mayfield type to try to win football games and try to make that trade day 2 or day 3 of the draft, and take an offensive tackle. So I don't think Carolina, from the perspective of the head coach, is very high on quarterback at all, because he's got to win. He's got to win now, right now. And that's not the way to win right now.
All right, so let me ask you that question. You think Matt Rule has that juice right now?
I don't know. That part I have no idea. I mean, I will say
it's a yay or nay question.
Well,
here,
I didn't pick a quarterback. I didn't pick a quarterback. So my estimation is they're not taking a quarterback that high in the draft, and they're going to go with, they've been really linked to Cross a lot. They like that particular player. And, some of the Evan Neal rumors, that's interesting. We got to get into those because they don't make any sense. But so I think you have the Giants and the Panthers trying to get people to say, well, we want Cross. Maybe they really want Neal or Ekwonu. And I think you're having this bandying back and forth. But it's tough to me to believe an NFL organization is going into a season saying, well, just what I said. The head coach isn't going to be here next year anyway, so I'm going to do what I want. If that happens, you have a terrible organization. Everything's left to, everything's on the table. So I can't say it's not going to happen. I can't say they're not going to take a quarterback, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And the fact that Matt Rule needs to win football games right now.
He does, but I just don't think he's got the juice, Johnny Mac. And if your point is, well, then they should have fired him during the offseason. Yeah, I think you're right. That's what should have happened. I like Matt Rule. I think he's a good coach. I'm surprised that he hasn't had more success. His first year, they were in every single game. They just couldn't finish it off. I expected a step forward this year. It didn't happen. And yeah, I just don't think I don't think he's got the juice, despite the fact that they gave him a
7-year contract. 7 years, Jody. 7 years. Never done before. And David Tepper's got more money than God, so it's not like he can't afford to pay it all. But you don't want to leave that much on the contract. So it is an interesting dichotomy with the Panthers, the GM, the head coach, but the head coach doesn't want a quarterback. That's what I'm basing it on. And you might be right. He might not have no juice. He may have no juice left whatsoever, but I can't imagine that they're thinking quarterback right now in the first round of the draft.
Yeah, I think they are, but I think they're looking to do so. That's why this trade down with the Eagles makes as much sense as it does. They realize that none of the quarterbacks, despite the general manager looking the camera right in the eye yesterday going, oh, yeah, we've got a couple of guys that would be meritorious of the 6th pick at the quarterback position. No, you don't. You don't have any. That's why you're looking to trade down. And the Eagles could be a perfect slot if you're Howie Roseman. And the offering price, and Carolina accepts it, is 15 plus your second plus your top third. You pulling the trigger on that?
No, I'm not, for this reason. They have so many needs, Jody. I mean, you're talking about building, right? We're in a building phase. We're in a transitional phase. Now we're in a building phase. The we're not ready crowd. We're not ready to do this. We're not ready to do that. Well, you're not ready to make a move up for a targeted move up for a player of that caliber, because you need a cornerback, you need a wide receiver, you need an edge rusher, you need a defensive tackle, you need a safety. You need those day 2 picks. If anything, I want more day 2 picks. I want what they have 5 in the first 101. I want 6. you guys called it the building phase. Well, then I don't want to give up everything for Kayvon Thibodeau or Derek Stingley Jr. or Ahmad Gardner. I don't want to miss out on those other positions I still have to fill because of the bad maneuvering when it comes to wide receivers and the fact that you don't have a safety net with Steve Nelson anymore. You haven't been able to get anything done at safety. Now maybe you bring in Honey Badger after the draft. You can go about it a bunch of different ways, but and then bottom line, Jody, I don't like the players that much. In other words, let's start at corner. I don't think Trent McDuffie is that much worse than Ahmad Gardner or Derek Stingley. In a lot of ways, he might be safer. It's probably not as exciting. Probably doesn't have the same type of ceiling. And while the edge rushers drop off, because I don't think they like Karlaftis at all. I think we can cross that one out. So I don't think any of the 4 edge rushers are going to be there. But, I mean, I think Jordan Davis could be every bit the player for Philadelphia that Kayvon Thibodeau could be. Maybe not as sexy, but in a lot of ways more important for what Jonathan Gannon wants to accomplish. And again, you can get it later. So I don't see the big drop-off from going up and getting one of the players people are targeting high in the draft versus players you can get, probably a targeted move up for Davis. Probably you can stand pat and get McDuffie. I don't see the value. Then you're getting the other players with the other picks. So I don't see this huge increased value from jumping up that high.
It's an interesting, just because if the Eagles feel differently than you, John, that there is a major difference between a Sauce Gardner and a McDuffie, and they're willing to pay that price. I think Carolina is looking to do exactly what we're discussing. Take a quarterback by trading down. Not at 6, but taking a quarterback if they can get into the middle of the first round, which is right where the Eagles are. The question is, what is the price going to be? All right, we'll continue to toss that around. We do want to look at the entire draft. We always look at it through Eagle-colored glasses, but there'll be a bunch of picks if the Eagles don't trade up before the Eagles ever go. We're going to discuss all that with our next guest, Russ Brown. We had him on a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it was almost a month ago, from Cover One Sports. Going to hop aboard, give us his evaluation now, 30-plus hours away from the NFL draft. He'll join us here on Birds 365 next.